Nature is the ultimate designer, crafting patterns that adorn the world around us, from the symmetry of flower petals to the spirals of shells. Everywhere we look, they are mesmerising patterns that don't just please our eyes but also serve a purpose. Nature patterns are not just seen through the naked eye but unseen patterns, revealed through the lens of science and technology. Exploring both seen and unseen patterns and its importance, along with research of the link in education and how the study of not just the nature patterns but overall design is crucial for creativity and critical thinking for young people. Hidden further from our normal expectations of nature patterns can be seen in bacteria, which go further from the eye can see. Not only looking at bacteria, but the design that came from the making of the bacteria with the use of Petri dishes in art. The mixed media artist Maria Pena Cobber shows this perfectly. Cobber creates work related to patterns and structures found in nature. The use of agar creates a canvas where the microbes can spread like paint and are allowed to grow and create art. However, unlike most forms of art, their paint is live and will live, breathe and grow over time. Maria Cobber is not just an artist but an educator, holding workshops to show the beauty of bacteria growing. This encourages the students to observe and interact and create their own. With a clear split between science and arts, Cobber hopes to bring them both together, showing the importance of art in education and allowing the students to be hands-on with the work they're studying. My mission with my practice was to create more details than Cobber did, experimenting with different processes until I was able to do this. First, I had to see bacteria up close and get a real idea of what I could work with. This could only be possible with the collaboration with science and learning a new topic to be able to design. Using technology, I could see the amazing patterns through a microscope. When investigating, I looked at a range of bacteria, but also things that naturally have patterns, such as brain stem, plague, lamb kidney, and more. It was truly fascinating seeing the cells and bacteria come to life when under further investigation through a microscope, using dyes over the bacteria. I knew it was important to document this in a way that someone learning could physically feel. I spent some time experimenting with cyanotype screen printing and etching. One of the successful outcomes was etching onto acrylic and printing. This allowed the outlines of the bacteria to show deeper, printing into paper, creating beautiful outlines and allowing the detail to show. The real magic showed when printing onto paper, and the images came to life with the use of different coloured inks and the further details of the imprint of the acrylic on the paper. I wanted to take this further and make some moving images from the collection of prints, adding keywords for the viewer to understand what they see. Along with looking at hidden bacteria came along a small project of mine of the Volvox structure, which is freshwater algae founded in 1700. I had never heard of Volvox, so I wanted to justify this topic, keeping in mind that what visuals of another learner would enjoy. I tried different methods, from laser cutting the structure into wood, which had a lovely 3D effect but wasn't reflecting how I wanted Volvox to be seen. Following on from the laser cutting, I decided to take my rubber print approach and created a series of posters that had the Volvox structure on and the name and the date it was founded. For an education route, I thought it would be nice to have them playing together as a book, so when a student is learning about this new topic, they can label and add key information on these coloured prints. Constantly keeping the thought of how my practice can be used educationally allowed me to approach things differently from a graphic designer who wants to be a part of education. With combining my project with education, a main goal of mine was to create something interactive for young people. Stephen Fowler, who creates printmaking with rubber stamps, was a huge inspiration for my work in this area. Fowler is an artist and an illustrator who specialises in primitive DIY printmaking with both rubber stamps and roller printing technologies. Along with his work being held at galleries and museums, Fowler is also a keen teacher of his methods at many popular workshops. What makes Fowler's work so special is that anyone can create a rubber stamps from the production in their pencil case. Fowler held a large workshop in Bristol where over 100 people attended. Due to his rubber stamping being so inclusive and adaptable, everyone was able to have a go, from 4-year-olds to 90-year-olds. I see Fowler's work as a huge motivation for young people, as when he is in his studio, he can shake off any expectations of the end result of a project or print and just play and see what happens. The beauty of design is that the process should be the best part and to let your imagination play out. Having no restrictions and no rules within design creates freedom and allows the individual to be free. Creating the sense of creativity for young people is crucial in all areas of life for them. When creating my own work, I knew it was important to create something that was accessible and easy for all ages to use, especially young people. Linking to my theme of nature patterns, I thought the best stamps to create would be be ones that symbolise these patterns within nature. This allowed me to head out into nature and find existing scene patterns. I tried to experiment with zooming in and out of images. Some images were more successful than others as they had a clear outline of patterns. With the use of the laser cutting machine, I was able to create engraves into wood that would eventually be used as stamps. Along with the help of 3D design, I was able to create handles for the stamps. I knew I wanted only small stamps so they would fit into a nice organised box, with each stamp having its own place. The making of the box was exciting as it was all coming together, using the glue for the box which held it together. Then later using wood stain as a finishing material to keep the box protected and engraving nature patterns on the lid. It was important for me to create something physical that allows children and young people to have the power to instantly design, even a form of communication for some. The power of identifying the nature patterns through printing them. Throughout the journey of my project of nature patterns, I have constantly been thinking about design in education, as this is the path I will be going into in the future. Art and design is extremely important for the curriculum in schools, as schools that integrate arts into their curriculum show improved student performances in maths, English, critical thinking and verbal skills. Alongside this, students from low-income families who take part in art activities at school are 3 times more likely to take a degree. Allowing students to study art teaches resilience within itself. It teaches them it's okay to fail. By making art a part of the national curriculum, we give the next generations of designers the opportunity to develop the imagination and skills for our future. With my own projects, I try to be more hands-on than digital. I do this because this is how I learn, and I know this is key for others as well. I want to be able to create work that young people can feel motivated to learn and design as well. Daniel Cherney, along with his own project, is the co-founder and creative director of Fix Pets, which is a learning programme responding to our world changing. It challenges young people to create solutions to everyday problems for a real person. The idea of helping to build the next generation of change makers, inventors and dreamers, wanting to ensure their hands are skilled and their hearts and minds are engaged. The students learn how to make a clear connection between design and problem solving, and how the impacts of creative thinking can be applied to making. From resources freely available, many sessions are designed to be taught in classrooms with low cost materials such as cardboard and tape. The idea that the students are given basic materials to make a prototype, to make an amazing improvements to suit the user. These exercises teach them to see another person's perspective. Following along from Daniel Cherney's work, an amazing live brief I was able to be a part of shows how engaging the children can be by using recycled materials that allowed them to spark their creativity. The live brief of working with Allerton Primary School on a brand design project by branding Room 17. This was an amazing opportunity to be able to work with the children. It allowed me to see design from a new perspective through their eyes as children, and it was a huge motivation. One of the main workshops was inviting the children to the studio where they painted recycled doors and using recycled paint so we could place them around LS17 to spark conversation about Room 17, where the children were able to have freedom over what designs they would like to add, from cats behind hearts to handprints showed how each child had a different design motivation. This was an amazing workshop and it allowed the children to be free with designing. The children left the workshop and returned to the school, many inspired to be graphic designer, architects and as students. This was an amazing outcome and I felt truly inspired from the students and motivated to head down my path in teaching. Through my journey of my own project, I kept in mind educational factors throughout and how my work could be used within education. This was important to me personally, as I am a more visual learner and enjoy the process of design, and every child is different and it truly comes down to understanding the needs of how each child learns. However, after research of my own and my own practice, including art and design into education has more benefits than none, and understanding this can change the future for young people. I believe my project represents this process of thinking, and I can take this research into my own life within teaching.